Hey everybody, welcome to the Legacy Up channel. My name is Giovanni Rodriguez. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and on this channel, I'm going to be looking to specifically teach you how to have long-term success in life, in your business, and spiritually, have long-term success and create a legacy, create something long-lasting, something that will last after you're not here anymore, and that you can pass on to future generations. And we're not going to be just talking right about wealth, which is one of the things you can leave behind and is great, but we're going to be talking about certain characteristics and values also that you can leave behind, which is things such as your character, things such as when you make a decision, how do you make that decision, what values are you, discipline, all of these things that go into being successful in the long term, staying focused, right? All of these little things, I want us to develop them together because I'm on this journey as well to create my legacy, and I want to help us grow and create something great so that when we're not here anymore, we felt that we made a true impact in the world. So if that's something you're interested in, just subscribe to this channel, hit the like button. It'll help us reach more people, impact more people so that they can see their true potential and see that they can also build a legacy, because it's not just big names or geniuses or certain people that can build a legacy. We all could build our legacy in our specific way, and I want to communicate that with everybody on this channel and see and show you your full potential. So it's gonna be great so far. I'm happy because right now with this video we've already have a week's worth of content. So I'm already officially have my first weekend on YouTube, which is exciting. It's great, and I look forward to everything else that is to come. It's been an exciting journey so far. I'm enjoying the process of creating these videos, of speaking with all of you. Looking forward to hearing your feedback. I've already heard some feedback from some people, and I love it. I love to receive feedback because I'm always looking to get better. I'm always looking to see where can I improve, because we're not perfect and we've got to look to expand our knowledge consistently. And I appreciate all of you who have given feedback, all of you who have subscribed so far and have liked the channel and liked the videos. So appreciate it. Thank you so much. And if you subscribe, that's going to help you see the new videos that come up. And right now I'm on a roll. I'm doing one a day. So far that's the goal for at least the first 3 months. We're going to be doing one video a day, so look forward to that. And again, thank you all for subscribing. Now let's get into this video. This is a good one. I mentioned a little bit of this in previous videos, specifically if you haven't seen it, in the 4 pillars of a successful legacy. That's a great video you should go check out, where I go over my viewpoints of the 4 things that you need to have a successful legacy. I go over 4 areas that are a great impact for your legacy. And I mentioned this in that video, and in another video I've also mentioned it because it's so important, right? And sometimes we think that creating this is just something that we can do and it's not going to really take up too much energy, or we're naturally going to be able to do certain things and have success. And it's not really like that. You have to work, and you have to really put in that work, put in the sweat equity, expand your knowledge, consistently be learning, consistently be failing, and willing to get back up again, and be self-motivated to stay on the journey, even though it's not always going to be what you imagined. But you always got to look at that end goal of, I got to remember, what I'm building is something long-lasting, something that's going to be really worth it at the end of the day, and I want that to happen. I want to make that happen. So you always got to stay focused. On this video, we're going to talk about, are you willing to do whatever it takes? Ask yourself that question. I remember I actually mentioned in one of the videos, and I even left a reference in the description of a book. And the book was The Ultimate Secret to Getting Anything or Everything You Want. I still highly recommend it. You read, get that book. It's an older book, but great books, quick read, and it gives some great concepts of what really, sometimes we really overcomplicate things, but it's just as simple as, you know what, putting everything you want to accomplish on a paper. What is it going to take for you to get there, right? If your legacy is you want to go up, right, the corporate ladder and get into a leadership position in the organization you're in because you feel that that's your passion. First of all, that's what you feel like you're meant to do, and that you could give great value in that position. And also you believe you can impact others while you're in that position. You could be of inspiration, motivation. You can help that organization be better and push farther and reach bigger goals because you're in that position. And if that's what you're looking for example, then you have to plan that out, right? You have to, okay, what is it going to take for me to get to that position? Is it, okay, I'm going to have to be consistently on time and go to all the meetings and be ready to give valuable feedback every single time. I have to be willing to grow and accept the things that I'm good at, but also things I'm not good at, and be willing to be coachable and receive that coaching so that I can get better in the areas that I need to get better at to get to that level. And right, am I gonna be focused on that goal? And I'm gonna I need to maybe be a team player and know that now, since I'm not in that position, I still have to be able to, while I'm moving up there, create still a positive team environment so that when I'm in that position, I'm already ready and shown that I can create that environment. And the list could go on and on, right? And then let's just say, for example, there's one thing on that list you don't want to do. That's where things get tough for you. And that's a great example from the book, right? The book talks about that specific type of example, which I think is valuable, because it states that you could want to do everything, but if there's one thing that you don't want to do from that list, then your intentions aren't there and you're not 100% in it, and you don't want to do whatever it takes to make that happen. And once you do that, the book talks about there's a shift that happens in your environment, there's a shift that happens in the universe, and things don't go the way you want them to go, and you probably don't end up getting where you want to go, because since from the very beginning your true intentions weren't to do everything it took to get there. You just want to do what you believe it takes. You want to do what's convenient for you. That's not how it works. We have to be willing to do whatever it takes, which means if we know there's 10 things, 20 things on that list, and those 20 things that are on that list, if I do them, are going to get me to where I want to be, then I have to have that conviction in my heart that I am going to do them because that's really what I want to do. And no matter what, I'm going to do whatever it takes to check all of those 20 things off that list, because I do know and I truly believe that this is my purpose. This is my legacy. I'm not going to let nobody hold me back. And that's when you receive and you reach great success, because you're willing to do whatever it takes. And then the universe and God starts doing his part to put things in order so that you can then reach those levels that you're looking to reach. But from the beginning, if your heart and your intentions aren't to actually do whatever it takes, and you're just basically, just going through the motions and seeing what happens, and you're not really dedicated, you're just, you're halfway in, halfway out, then it's not going to work, right? You're not going to be able to hit that top level and see great things happen. So this go more as personal experience, right, of mine. For example, I was really curious when I was in university and I started university, I was it was a great evolution of my character, because I was a very shy, introverted person right out of high school. I was sort of like very into my own world, into reading, into you know, back then I was into reading. I loved video games. I loved magazines, just reading. Like they would transport me into like these different worlds whenever I read, and I was just into my own thing, and I wasn't really too social, and not a person who would go into a conversation and really dominate the conversation and want any type of attention. I was more of like in the background, right? And and that's and that's interesting. It's sort of like I was just seeing I just saw a movie that came out recently called Free Guy, I think it is, where he's a person in a character in a video game. He's an NPC, so he's like a background character. Now that I think about it, sort of like that's how I was, right? I was sort of like this background character that nobody really noticed. I wasn't really like that main player, to put it into perspective, right? And as I went into university, I started to see these main players, right? People who were more dynamic, more a little bit more extroverted, and not afraid, right, to express what they felt, to express their thoughts. And I started analyzing, right? Because in that process of university, I started to meet people from different social structures, from different backgrounds. It was a lot more diverse, because in university you have people coming from all different types of places. In high school, everybody was from like the same area, whereas university, you're getting a lot of diverse thoughts and backgrounds. So as I started to realize this, I started observing people. I started noticing something, which was that the people who were more extroverted, who were more not afraid, specifically, they were just, they would go for whatever it was that they were looking to go for. They weren't scared to speak their mind. They weren't scared of what other people thought. A lot of times I would see those people advance in certain areas a lot quicker, because they were establishing, they would be able to establish relationships a lot quicker, because they weren't afraid of getting, rejected by one person. They just keep moving and keep getting to know more people, and eventually they'd create these connections which would help them propel forward. And I thought that was curious, because I was always more introverted. I was like, wait a second, maybe. And I actually felt, in some of these cases, I felt that I was actually smarter and actually deserved, that's where sometimes our ego comes in. We're like, but why am I behind and this person is not even smarter than me? Well, because they don't have fear. And sometimes that factor of doing whatever it takes, of being willing to do whatever it takes, is actually even more of a positive factor in your success than your actual traits, such as being an intelligent person, or knowing, having a lot of knowledge about a specific subject, or have a specific expertise. That's great, but if you don't have that other factor of are you willing to do whatever it takes? And I noticed that at university, that these people who were more on that level of doing whatever it took, they didn't care if they didn't have the knowledge yet, they didn't care if they weren't as smart enough yet, they just went for it. I just noticed that they were like, their pace to where they wanted to go was accelerated. And I want to share that with you guys, because once I noticed that, I started making a switch in my mindset, and I started saying, you know what, I need to stay true to who I am, but I also need to add some of these attributes that I see from these people, so that I can reach success quicker. And I noticed that in university, and it still took me a while, right? Then I went into the corporate world right out of university, and I started working hard, right? Really motivated in the beginning, willing to do whatever I needed to do to move my way up. But then once I started moving my way up, and more situations started to become more complicated, more pressures, more things started happening, I would notice that sometimes I would lose that motivation. Being very transparent with you guys, sometimes I would not do whatever it took. Sometimes that motivation of doing whatever it takes, I sort of, in certain phases of my career, I lost that. But then when I would notice it dwindling, and I would notice my results dwindling, I would say, oh, wait a second, I know it's not because I I'm not good enough. It's because I'm not doing whatever it takes. I'm not doing what's needed in the moments that it is needed, and really putting myself together, staying focused, being disciplined, and doing whatever it takes. I wasn't doing that in certain moments. It was sort of in spurts, and I was letting that energy go away, and I was not staying disciplined and focused enough to maintain that at all times. And that's why I admire a lot of people who are actually great and have great legacies and are really successful. You'll see a lot of times they have an incredible ability to be able to stay focused, and no matter through the ups and downs or whatever they're doing, they're able to just stay focused and make things happen, and do whatever, and they still are able to do whatever it takes, even when they don't feel like it, even when it's not their best moment. I'm from Chicago, so I'm a big Jordan fan. So a lot of you guys might relate. Jordan, back when he was in that famous flu game, right, where he was sick. I mean, he's sick. He has a crazy fever. He's on the bench, like in the videos and the pictures you see him like dying on the bench. Yet he still, makes more than 40 points in that game, and they win the game, and it's incredible because this is like, are you serious? Like that shows you he was willing to do whatever it took to help the team win, to reach his goal, to get the championship. He was willing to do whatever it took. He didn't matter to him if he was sick or what was going on, and he made it happen because he just had that drive. He had that discipline to say, you know what, I know I'm not feeling my best today, but I'm going to give my best. I'm going to do whatever it takes no matter what, because I know what my goal is. I know, and I've defined where I want to go, and I'm going to make it happen. So think about that as we're building the legacy, as we're going through these different concepts and these videos you're watching. Think about that as you go along. That's why we have to take that first step, which was in the pillars video. The 4 pillars is that first step is defining, right? Defining what your legacy is in the first place and what you really want to do and what you really want to achieve. Because in order for you to do whatever it takes to get there, you have to know what it takes. You have to know those points. You have to have it very defined. You have to have that legacy defined and know what is the impact you want to do. Is it in your job? Is it you want to reach a certain impact in an organization, so that you know that once you hit that level, you're going to be able to make an even bigger impact in other areas? Or is it in your business? You want to reach a level of heights in your business because once you hit that level in your business, it's going to open up a whole bunch of other opportunities for you to impact other people's lives and give back. So there's a lot of different ways you can define your legacy, and you can build it, even in music, for example. People who are musically inclined and want to, through their art of music and their voice or instrument, they want to give something back to the world through that and make a positive impact through that talent. There's a whole bunch of different ways you could create your legacy. It's just you have to have it very defined, and once you have it defined, now it's, are you willing to do whatever it takes? Are you willing to go when everybody else stops? Are you willing to keep going when everything is negative and things are not in your favor? Are you willing to keep going when people treat you incorrectly, even though you've treated them the best way possible? Are you willing to ignore that and keep going? Even when you get sickness, if you have a sickness or your family members are affected by something and that's affecting you, are you willing to keep going? Right? It just takes, it's tough, right? And it's gonna be tough, but we're gonna get through it. You're gonna be able to achieve it. You just gotta really define what it is you want to do, because once you have that defined and you're really passionate about it, and you say, you know what, this is what I'm going to create, this is what I want to build, this is the legacy I want to leave, and you're passionate about leaving that legacy, then nothing can stop you, only yourself. So that's why you have to be willing to do whatever it takes, make things happen, keep pushing forward, gaining the knowledge you need to gain so that you can become a better person, a better entrepreneur, a better salesperson, a better leader. Just, you gotta keep pushing forward. And once you got that, once you realize and you start seeing those results and you start doing whatever it takes, you're gonna see that your success is gonna start accelerating. and you're gonna see the momentum start to shift. That's the great thing, is that when you put in that work, God and the universe will compensate you back, and you'll start seeing those things come to life during your journey, and you're going to start to see great things happen along the way. You just got to stay motivated, you got to stay focused, and you got to do whatever it takes during every checkpoint in the journey so that you can make it to the end. All right? And just on this last note, I want to leave a personal experience. I mean, I've had a lot of times, and specifically, again, being transparent, the beginning of my businesses, I thought I was willing to do whatever it took. And in the beginning, I had a really big wake-up call where I had to sit down one day and say, you know what, some of these things I'm not doing at certain times. I wasn't doing whatever it took. Sometimes I was, I had a lot of things going on, and I was letting my mind give me excuses to not doing whatever it takes. I had a lot of things going on. For example, I haven't told you guys this story yet. It's gonna come, where I had a personal situation where my wife had a health situation that affected us, and is still affecting us in some ways till today. But it's a lot better. But during that time, it was the beginning where it was the roughest, and sometimes that would drain some of my energy, right? Because I'm a very energetic, positive, optimistic person. But it was one of the toughest battles I've been through with that health situation and her. It was something unexpected out of the blue as well, which made it even tougher. And then I was starting to sometimes use those excuses to not do my best, to not do whatever it took. Because I had this situation come up where I had to stay up late because of that situation with her, and then I started making all these excuses. But no, at the end of the day, if you really want it, if you really want the championship, if you really want the legacy, if you really want to build something great and that's worth it, you have to do whatever it takes. You have to leave the excuses to the side, and you have to get down, and you have to focus, put your head down, and make things happen. And that's where you could then build something great. That's when things will start to happen, and you start to see changes in your journey and in your life, and you're going to start getting closer to that success and closer to that legacy. So I just want to leave it there. Don't give up. Keep pushing forward. If you're really focused and you're determined, you've already had that legacy defined, perfect. I congratulate you now. It's time for you to do the hard work. Now it's time for you to really get this going and do whatever it takes. I know we can do it. I know we're going to do it. With this community we're building, I know we're going to be able to push each other to be better and to keep learning from each other, because I'm not perfect. I'm also going to be learning on this journey as well, and I want to take you along there with me so that we can all learn together and build something great for the future. Thank you all, legacy builders. Appreciate you for tuning into another video. Again, I hope to see you, tomorrow, right? On the next one. Thank you. Greatly appreciated. Let's legacy up. Take care.